Hi Capricorn, welcome to your love reading for this week. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you come across it is when it's meant for you. Okay, let's see what's coming through for you, Capricorn. So we have Six of Pentacles, Eight of Cups, Four of Swords, Ten of Cups, Two of Swords, Ace of Cups, the Hanged Man, Wheel of the Year, and Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so it's pretty clear from looking at these cards that whether you're single or married or just kind of dating someone, there are some intense energies around you this week. The heart of your reading is the Two of Swords, which could represent some type of decision that you have to make about a relationship. And that is so crystal clear. I see cards about a relationship right here with a decision right in the middle, or some type of really tense situation. Someone's being very stubborn. So let's go ahead and start from the beginning with the Six of Pentacles. I feel like the first message that I'm getting is about couples. I feel like someone, the Six of Pentacles to me, it represents kind of getting those things that you deserve. And this would be, because it's a love reading, it is the love that you deserve. Maybe it's the attention that you deserve, the devotion that you deserve. But there is a very, conflicting card next to it, the Eight of Cups, which would represent that you're not feeling very loved. You're feeling a little bit disconnected from your partner. You may even kind of feel like this is not making you happy anymore. And that is further, confirmed by the Four of Swords being next to the Eight of Cups, because that card means that it's time for a timeout. So I feel like for someone, you're just not feeling like someone is appreciating you anymore. You're feeling you're feeling very upset about this. You're feeling like walking away. You feel like you deserve better. And you feel like, you need a timeout. You may need some space. It could also kind of play the other way around. It could be that you may be kind of dealing with a relationship this week where you are the one who is kind of being told, I need some space. And there is love all over this reading. So I feel like for many of you, if you allow your partner some space, there may be some things that they need to figure out. Because the Two of Swords, it's a suit of air. It's a very mental card. And I feel like for a lot of you, there's a lot of things going on in your head. Not only you, but your partner as well. And some people, yes, they may need some space and some time away. And, hearing that you need some space, it may not be that someone says, get out or move out, we're done. But it may be that, they may not be sharing everything that's on their mind. And I feel like they want me to tell you that that is okay, because sometimes people need time to figure out, what they want and what they're thinking. So don't be alarmed if somebody tells you they need some space, because I feel like somebody might freak out. So moving on to the next row, the Ten of Cups, the Two of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. This is pretty interesting because there are, two cards representing love. The Ten of Cups represents a family and children. And then the Ace of Cups on the other side, it represents a new love, or it could be an old love coming back into your life. Okay, so this is beautiful, but then there's a Two of Swords right in the middle. And for some of you, you might be making some type of decision. This won't apply to everyone, but you might be making some type of decision between two people. You may be deciding between two partners. It could be someone new. I even kind of get the message that for some of you, there might be someone who's married or in a relationship. There could be conflict because someone just wants love and someone wants marriage and children. And maybe someone is not getting what they want. And a very kind of strange message from that, I feel like somebody wants children and somebody else doesn't. or someone can't have children. And it's like a very like tough decision that somebody has to make. Let me see what else I get from this, because I'm kind of distracted by that. I'm not sure why. I feel like it may apply to more than one person. You know, and the Two of Swords, this represents like, you know, being stuck. And I can't help but see that it's lined up here with the Hangman, which also represents kind of being stuck. So I feel like for some of you, you may feel like that this week, that something is kind of blocking your love life. You may kind of feel like you don't quite know what is going on in your relationships. You may not understand your partner. We already talked about that. You may feel like your relationship is not really kind of moving forward, like it's stuck, and you don't quite understand why. Notice how here, you know, the Hangman, the Two of Swords, the Four of Swords. I feel like, you know, some of you may need some time to time apart or time out. So like I said, it doesn't mean that you're kicked to the curb or anything, unless you really kind of, you feel that that has to happen. But these are two cards about being, you know, stuck. And it may be a very difficult decision for some of you. It may be because children are at stake here. You are married and you have children. Or you just invested a lot of time and energy into a relationship. You know, even, you know, the Two of Swords, it represents being like very like stubborn. It represents like not wanting to like acknowledge that there is even a problem in a relationship. And this has come up for a lot of other signs as well from different cards. So I feel like someone, you know, that Two of Swords, they're like not budging. And if you look at the card, her arms are crossed, she's blindfolded. It's like someone doesn't want to see that they're, you know, that there's trouble in paradise here. Everything is not okay. And, you know, perhaps seeing what, you know, what is above this card is the Eight of Cups. And that means that somebody's not feeling this anymore. Somebody feels that something is wrong. And like I said at the top of the reading, I'm not going to repeat it, someone may feel that they're not getting what they deserve. And they may need some time to like recharge and rethink things. Okay, so that was intense. Let me move on to the bottom cards. Like I said, the Hangman, I already talked about that. Things kind of being stuck, being in limbo. Not quite like understanding. But they're telling you that this can change. You have the Wheel of the Year, which is the Wheel of Fortune. This means that, you know, I do believe, yeah, this is your only major arcana. And it is, no, you have two, okay, it's right next to it. Two major arcana side by side. With kind of a card here again, I just noticed a card of kind of like timeout. I always consider this card as kind of like a message of, you know, time to like really think about things carefully. This is a card of non-action. This is a card of non-action, so it may be that, you know, there may not be, you know, a spectacular time for like huge changes. And this won't apply to everyone. I'm getting that it may be for not for single people, but for people who are in relationships. And I think I've talked more for couples in this reading, and these are just the messages that I get. So I feel like for some of you, you may be in limbo, kind of like wondering, like, what's going on with my relationship, especially kind of seeing what's going on here on the side of the reading. Someone may feel like, I'm not getting this happily ever after in the children that I wanted. I'm not getting what I deserved. I'm just kind of stuck here and, you know, left hanging and wondering what in the world's going on. They're telling you that things can change for you. The Wheel of the Year, you know, it's always positive change, things changing for the better. But I feel like somebody needs time to really kind of think and plan and analyze. That is the energy of the Seven of Pentacles, and it's lined up with the Ace of Cups and the Four of Swords. So in order to possibly like figure out what in the world is going on with your relationships, and here it is, you know, love, you need some time to like declutter mentally. Perhaps someone needs time on their own. And I feel like you need to understand this if you are the one who is being who is being told, I need some space. It's not that someone is leaving you, because I see the love in this reading, and frankly, you have more love cards than like all the other signs that I've done. I feel like someone is just kind of really like in a difficult place, and they need time to think. I know that I think I focused more like on couples in this reading. I do want to say something else as far as like single people, but I really just kind of go with the guidance that I'm getting when I see the cards. I mean, it's like a similar message. I feel like some people may have purposely self-imposed, can be spending time on their own. And, you know, you may kind of feel like you haven't gotten what you needed from relationships in the past, but I feel like something is kind of changing. You know, the Eight of Cups, something is changing. You're not it's the opposite for people who are single. You're feeling like you don't want to be single anymore. You finally, you know, you're changing your mind. That is the energy of the Eight of Cups. You're not finding the happiness that you deserve. And so for you, it's the opposite. It's time for you to put yourself out there. You're feeling lonely. You want to meet someone new. And this is like a huge sign for you that there is someone new and possibly like a life partner. But some of you may be really kind of stubborn and thinking, oh no, I do not want to put myself back out there again. The same cards. I want to stay in this place of timeout. And meanwhile, your life is in limbo. You don't want to make a decision. It's a tough decision to put yourself back out there. But there is, you know, a relationship, possibly a life partner around you. And they're telling you if you kind of make this decision, there would be a huge change in your life. Again, and your emotions are telling you that with the Eight of Cups. Your emotions are telling you it's time to like let go of fears and move on. But I feel like for some of you, like you're being very stubborn and you're kind of thinking, I need more time to think about this. For singles, I feel like you've had time, more than enough time, to think about your relationship status. And it's just time to move forward. Okay, Capricorn, I will end this reading here. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, much love, and bless. Bye-bye.